Two old friends are having coffee when the first woman says, "I hear that you've been telling people that I'm ugly." "Oh no, I've just been saying that your new hairdo makes you look less attractive." "I also heard that you've been calling me fat." "Oh no, I just said that the way you wear those stripes makes you look larger than you really are." "I've also heard that you're saying that my husband has a wart on his dick." "Oh no, I only said that it feels like he has a wart on his dick." There are 3 types of sex in a marriage. The first one is kitchen sex. This is when you are newlyweds and you're still having fun, so you do it anywhere, anytime, but mostly the kitchen. The second type is bedroom sex. This is when you have settled down a bit and probably have kids, so you can't do it anywhere except the bedroom. The third type of sex is hallway sex. This is when you pass each other in the hall and say, "Screw you." But there's also a fourth kind, called courtroom sex. This is when you are getting a divorce and you try to screw each other in public. Guy goes to a doctor and says he has a problem with sex. "I think my privates are too small," he says. The doctor asks him which drink he prefers. "Well, lager," he replies, quite bemused. "Ah, there's your problem. Those lagers shrink things. You should try drinking Guinness. That makes things grow." 2 months later, the chap returns to the doctor with a big smile on his face. He shakes the doctor by the hand and thanks him. "I take it you now drink Guinness?" asks the doc. "No," replies the man, "but I've got the wife on lager." An elderly man and woman meet in a bar and get to talking. They are enjoying their conversation so much that when the bar closes, they decide to continue at the woman's apartment. After some time, things start getting pretty romantic and they wind up in bed. Afterward, they're both laying there, staring at the ceiling. The old man is thinking, "Gosh, if I had known she was a virgin, I would have been more careful with her." The old lady is thinking, "Geez, if I had known he could get it up, I would have taken off my panties." A man and woman were celebrating their 50-year anniversary. That night, the woman comes out of the bathroom completely naked and looks at her husband, who is already in bed. She says, "Honey, 50 years ago tonight, when I came out of the bathroom with no clothes on, what were you thinking?" He said, "I was thinking that I wanted to suck your titties dry and fuck you until you couldn't think straight." She smiled at him and said, "So what are you thinking now?" He said, "I think I did a pretty good job." Some newlyweds arrive to the hotel, and the girl, very afraid, tells her husband, "Honey, I don't know anything about sex. Can you help me, please?" "I will, honey. Starting from this instant, we will call your thing the prison and my thing the prisoner. So, we will put the prisoner in prison." And they throw the first one. The guy is laying face up on the bed, but the girl was delighted and tells him, "Love, the prisoner broke out of prison." The guy, not very delighted, tells her, "Let's put him into the prison." They finish, and the husband lays face up again. But the girl is very sweet-toothed, and she tells him, "Honey, the prisoner is out again." The man rises, with the legs like a recently born foal, and they throw the third one. He is laying on the bed, exhausted, when the girl says, "Honey, the prisoner escaped again." And he answers with his last breath, "Hey, it's not life imprisonment, okay?" One day, Sven walks into the local pub and announces, "Well, boys, Sven is getting married." As you can imagine, all of Sven's friends were very happy for Sven's good fortune, and they asked, "Who's the lucky girl?" Sven replied, "Well, I am a marrying Madge." Well, this upset all of Sven's friends because Madge was nothing but a slut, and they all cried, "Sven, you can't marry Madge. She's not a nice girl." Sven replied, "Oh yeah, Sven's in love, and he's getting married." His friends persisted. "Sven, Madge is a woman of low morals." Sven just grinned and replied, "Oh, yeah, but I love Madge." Finally, his friends had enough and in unison cried out, "But Sven, Madge has been screwed by every man in town." "Oh, yeah, said Sven, but it's not that big of a town." Bill and John, in their 80s, decided to visit the madam for one last sexual encounter. The madam noticed Bill and John approaching. She quickly prepared 2 blow-up dolls, placing one in each room on the bed. Bill and John told the madam that, "We are here for the last time." The madam sent Bill upstairs to the room on the left and John to the room on the right. After an hour, Bill and John left the rooms, paid the madam, and left. Bill and John were very quiet until Bill asked, "How was yours?" John replied, "I think she was dead. How was yours?" Bill said, "I think she was a witch." John asked, "How did you know she was a witch?" Bill said, "Well, I got on top of her, bit her nipple, she farted, and flew out the window." Susie asked her big sister Samantha how babies are made. Samantha explains it to her. "I still don't get it. Can you show me?" Samantha says, "Okay, tonight I will let you watch with my boyfriend Jack and I screw." That night, Jack laid Samantha 5 times, but Susie still didn't understand. The next night, Jack was tired of Susie watching, so he offered to have sex with her. "Okay," Susie said, "but I don't want Samantha to watch." So Samantha went outside. They are in there for almost an hour, and when they come out, Jack is smiling like crazy. "That was fun, but I still don't get it," says Susie. The next day, the same thing happened, and the next day. Finally, 2 weeks later, Samantha comes home crying. "What's wrong?" Susie asks. Samantha cried, "Jack dumped me. He said there was someone better." "Let's go talk to him. Maybe we can change his mind," said Susie. When they got there, Jack said he made up his mind and there was nothing they could do to change it. Then he asked to speak to Susie privately. Then he pulled off all of Susie's clothes and started to screw her. "Okay," Jack said, kissing Susie's neck. "I broke up with Samantha. Now, tell me how you got to be so good in bed." She replied, "I asked all my other sisters how babies are made." A guy buys his first motorcycle. The dealer tells him to keep a jar of Vaseline handy to rub on the chrome before it rains to prevent rusting. A few months later, the young man's girlfriend invites him to dinner at her parents' house. Before they go in, she explains their family tradition that whomever speaks first after dinner must do the dishes. After dinner, everyone sits in silence waiting for the first person to break. After 15 minutes, the young man decides to speed things up. He leans over and kisses his woman in front of her family. No one says a word. Emboldened, he throws her on the table and has sex with her. Still, no one says a word. Desperate, he grabs her mother and has sex with her on the table. Suddenly, they hear thunder rumble in the distance. The guy thinks of his bike and, instinctively, pulls the jar of Vaseline out of his pocket. Okay, says the father. "I'll do the dishes."